Every company that came out tried to figure out what was going on.
Anything got washed in and out of here, it's going to get trapped in these rocks.
I'll become more convinced that no, something did happen here.
Hey, I've got a signal over here.
What if I told you that after more than 230 years of failed expeditions, millions of dollars spent, and countless theories, the greatest mystery of Oak Island may finally be coming to an end? In 2026, rumors of a shocking underground discovery sent treasure hunters and historians into a frenzy. But what was supposedly uncovered wasn't just gold or ancient artifacts. It was something far darker, something that has reawakened the terrifying legend of the island's infamous curse. Could this be the breakthrough that generations have waited for? Or has someone uncovered a secret that was never meant to see the light of day? From mysterious stone tunnels and hidden chambers to chilling symbols, unexplained events, and discoveries that challenge everything we thought we knew, today's story explores the latest theories surrounding Oak Island's biggest mystery yet. But before we begin, if you enjoy mysteries, hidden history, ancient secrets, and unexplained discoveries, make sure to subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications so you never miss our next investigation. And stay with us until the very end, because the final discovery has left even veteran researchers questioning everything they thought they knew about Oak Island. Now, let's uncover the mystery. A look back. The mystery that refuses to fade. For generations, Oak Island has captivated explorers, drawing them into a mystery that never seems to let go. The legend began in the late 18th century when unusual ground depressions and layers of timber buried deep beneath the surface sparked curiosity. What started as a local puzzle soon grew into one of the world's most enduring treasure hunts. Over the years, theories multiplied. Some believed pirate riches were hidden below. Others suspected sacred relics connected to the Knights Templar. And then there were those who thought the island concealed something far greater, knowledge intentionally hidden away from history itself. Among the most determined seekers of answers are Rick and Marty Lagina. For years, they have explored nearly every corner of the island, following clues wherever they led. They investigated the famous Money Pit, examined Smith's Cove, drained sections of the swamp, and traced underground features that seemed far too organized to be natural formations. Their search has produced remarkable discoveries: ancient wooden structures, coins from distant parts of Europe, strange symbols carved into stone, and evidence of sophisticated engineering that appears completely out of place on a small island off Canada's Atlantic coast. Yet, Oak Island is known for more than hidden treasures. It is also tied to a chilling legend. According to the island's famous curse, 7 people must die before its ultimate secret can be revealed. Over the years, 6 lives have already been lost, leaving many to wonder whether the final chapter of this story will bring triumph or tragedy. When the 2026 season got underway, the team chose a different path. Rather than revisiting familiar excavation sites, they turned their attention to a neglected section of the island known as the Western Triangle. Earlier surveys had detected unusual signals in the area, but nothing compelling enough to justify a major operation, until now. The Western Triangle would soon become the center of attention. Using advanced scanning technology and detailed 3-dimensional mapping, the team began a fresh investigation of the site. The results appeared almost immediately, and what they revealed was impossible to ignore. Deep underground lay a large circular formation, unlike anything expected in that location. The shape stood out clearly against the surrounding terrain, suggesting something deliberately placed beneath the surface. Even Rick acknowledged the possibility that the team had overlooked a crucial piece of the puzzle for years. After dedicating so much time to other areas of the island, he admitted that this forgotten location might hold the key to everything. That realization triggered a rapid response. Excavation work began without delay, and before long, the evidence matched what the scans had predicted. Hidden beneath layers of soil was a structure that appeared intentionally built and carefully concealed. This was no random geological feature. This was something designed. Someone had created it. Someone had hidden it. And that discovery changed the entire investigation. Ground-penetrating radar, one of the most trusted technologies used in modern exploration, provided even more startling information. By sending signals beneath the earth and recording what reflected back, the system produced an image of what lay hidden below. What appeared on the monitors left little room for doubt. distinct geometric patterns, symmetrical formations, a nearly perfect circular arrangement. The shapes did not resemble natural stone deposits. Instead, they appeared to outline enclosed spaces surrounded by walls and covered by what looked like an engineered roof. But the most fascinating detail was still to come. Beneath the structure, the scans revealed a large empty cavity, a sealed void, an untouched space hidden below the formation. To many on the team, it looked exactly like the type of chamber someone would create to protect something valuable. Rick and the experts studied the information repeatedly. The dimensions, depth, and precision all pointed toward the same possibility. This wasn't simply another buried structure. It might be a vault. And if that interpretation was correct, the chamber could have remained undisturbed for centuries. Rick remained cautious, but the significance of the moment was impossible to hide. If we're interpreting this correctly, he said, we could be standing on the edge of something truly historic. The challenge now was enormous. A careless excavation could damage the very evidence they had spent years searching for. But if the team proceeded with patience and precision, they might finally uncover the truth hidden beneath Oak Island for generations. The first 12 feet of digging offered nothing unusual. Workers encountered ordinary soil, roots, and scattered rocks, the same conditions they had faced countless times before. Then, everything changed. The excavation equipment struck something solid. At first, it appeared to be ordinary bedrock. But as more earth was removed, a different picture emerged. A stone wall began to take shape. The blocks were remarkably consistent in size and arranged in a smooth curve, suggesting the outer edge of a circular structure. These stones had not simply ended up there by chance. They had been carefully shaped, positioned, and aligned by skilled hands. As excavation continued, the mystery deepened further. A narrow opening appeared beside the wall. It resembled a passageway extending into the structure itself, and along its surface were unusual carvings, crosses, symbols, patterns that looked strikingly similar to fragments of an ancient written language. Rick examined the markings closely, running his hand across the stone. "These aren't just stones," he said quietly. "They're trying to tell a story." Nothing about the passage looked natural. The walls were too uniform. The shape was too deliberate. This had been built with a purpose, and with each layer removed, that purpose seemed increasingly intentional. Whoever created this place had invested extraordinary effort not only in constructing it, but in making sure it remained hidden. Once the entrance and surrounding wall were fully exposed, a strange silence settled over the excavation site. Rick Lagina stood motionless. For years he had endured disappointments, dead ends, and false leads. Yet in this moment, words seemed to fail him completely. Marty noticed the change immediately and signaled for the cameras to continue recording. Everyone understood that they were no longer looking at another isolated clue. They were staring at a genuine structure, something tangible, something undeniable. Crew members later described the atmosphere as surreal. Instead of celebration, there was quiet reflection. The realization of what might be unfolding was simply too overwhelming. Many felt they were witnessing a turning point in the history of the search. Observers noticed emotion in Rick's eyes as he looked at the discovery before him. For years, he had pursued answers across the island. Now, for the first time, it felt as though Oak Island might finally be responding. When he eventually spoke, his voice was barely audible. "We've spent so much of our lives trying to understand this place," he said, "and now it feels like it's finally beginning to answer us." Then came another astonishing development. As the team moved deeper into the passageway, they encountered an obstacle that brought progress to an immediate halt. A door, not a pile of rubble, not a natural blockage, a door. What stood before the team wasn't a cave-in, a pile of debris, or a natural blockage. It was a door, a real deliberately constructed barrier that had remained sealed for what appeared to be centuries. Built from a combination of stone and metal, the entrance immediately captured everyone's attention. Strange symbols covered its surface, carved with purpose and precision. Whatever existed beyond this point, someone had gone to extraordinary lengths either to safeguard it or to ensure it never escaped. The metal components showed clear signs of age, their surfaces scarred by centuries of corrosion. Yet, despite the passage of time, the stonework remained remarkably intact. The symbols were even more intriguing. Researchers quickly noticed that the markings were unlike anything previously discovered on Oak Island. Their appearance bore a striking resemblance to imagery commonly linked to medieval Europe, particularly secretive religious societies and mysterious historical orders. Specialists studying the structure estimated that the entrance may have remained untouched for hundreds of years. Even more puzzling was the quality of the craftsmanship itself. The engineering techniques reflected knowledge associated with the medieval period, an unexpected discovery in a location that, according to conventional history, should never have contained such sophisticated construction. Marty finally voiced the thought that was on everyone's mind. "If this really is a vault," he said, "then it could be exactly what those old maps have been leading us toward." Rick wasted no time. He immediately ordered the area secured. Nobody would attempt to open the entrance until every possible safety measure was in place. Oak Island had a long history of punishing reckless decisions, and no one wanted to repeat mistakes made by earlier treasure hunters. Now, a single question dominated every conversation. What was waiting on the other side? The Templar theory. Returns. As soon as images of the sealed entrance began circulating among researchers, speculation exploded. The symbols, the architecture, the secrecy surrounding its location. Everything seemed to point toward one legendary possibility: the Knights Templar. The Templars were among the most influential organizations of the medieval world. Renowned for their wealth and power, they vanished under mysterious circumstances, leaving behind centuries of unanswered questions. According to popular legends, members of the order escaped Europe carrying sacred relics, priceless treasures, ancient records, and perhaps even objects connected to the Holy Grail itself. Some theories go even further. They suggest that the Templars may have crossed the Atlantic centuries before Christopher Columbus ever reached the Americas. If such a voyage truly occurred, Oak Island has long been considered one of the strongest candidates for their hidden destination. The newly discovered door only fueled those beliefs. Several of the carvings closely resembled symbols traditionally linked to the Templars. The construction methods reflected medieval European techniques, and the isolated location, difficult to reach and easy to conceal, fit perfectly with the idea of a secret repository designed to remain hidden. One historian associated with the investigation made a remarkable observation. "If this turns out to be a genuine Templar vault," he said, "we may be looking at one of the most significant discoveries ever made." It sounded extraordinary, but considering everything uncovered so far, it was becoming harder to dismiss. Technology takes over. The moment the team realized the importance of the discovery, their approach changed completely. This was no longer just another treasure hunt. It had become a serious archaeological investigation with potentially historic consequences. Rick and Marty understood that a single mistake could destroy evidence that had survived for centuries. Experts from multiple disciplines were brought in immediately. Archaeologists, imaging specialists, structural analysts, and preservation experts all joined the effort. From that point forward, every action was carefully controlled. Soil was removed inch by inch. Every layer was documented. Every stone was photographed and recorded before being touched. Nothing was left to chance. Then came another major discovery. A few feet beneath the entrance, excavators uncovered a carved stone slab. Its surface was covered with intricate markings and unfamiliar symbols. Although the inscriptions didn't match any known language, researchers noticed similarities to symbolic systems used by groups such as the Freemasons and the Knights Templar, organizations famous for concealing information within coded imagery. The slab was immediately sent for expert examination. Early assessments suggested it might serve a greater purpose than decoration. It could be a form of cipher, a guide, perhaps even a key to interpreting the structure and unlocking the meaning of what lay hidden below. Marty remained cautious, but his excitement was difficult to hide. "Until now, we've mostly been dealing with possibilities," he explained. "But this could be the first tangible evidence that we're dealing with something created by a secret society." The deeper they dug, the thinner the line between theory and reality seemed to become. The first look beyond the door. Rather than attempting to force the entrance open and risk damaging whatever was inside, the team chose a more careful strategy. A fiber optic camera was prepared. The slender probe, equipped with a miniature camera and microphone, was carefully inserted through a small opening. As the live feed appeared on the monitor, everyone gathered around. The images were breathtaking. The camera revealed a compact stone chamber, hidden beyond the entrance. Its walls appeared carefully crafted and remarkably well preserved. Near one side of the room, several metallic objects reflected the camera's light. These didn't resemble ordinary debris. They looked intentional, artifacts, possibly valuable ones. At the center of the chamber sat a large structure resembling a chest or container, partially buried beneath accumulated sediment. Its purpose remained unknown, but its position suggested immense importance. Then something happened that nobody expected. The microphone captured a sound, a low, continuous hum, soft, steady, unmistakably present. It didn't resemble machinery. It didn't sound natural either. It was something else entirely. Marty's reaction was immediate. "This isn't just an empty chamber," he said. "Something is happening down there." Soon after, members of the team began noticing faint vibrations beneath the ground. The movement was subtle, but it was real, almost as if something hidden deep below the island remained active. Rick and Marty exchanged a silent glance. Neither needed to say what they were thinking. If the structure still contained a functioning mechanism of some kind, then this might be more than a vault. It could have been designed with protective systems in place, or perhaps something even more dangerous. A sudden warning. Just as preparations were being made for the next phase of the investigation, events took an alarming turn. One crew member suddenly stopped and pointed something out. There was an unusual odor drifting through the excavation site. Sharp, acrid, almost like something burning. Work halted immediately. Within moments, a thin haze began rising from below. Smoke-like gas slowly emerged from the excavation area, spreading through the air. The team reacted instantly. Protective equipment was deployed, monitoring devices were activated. Then the alarm sounded. The readings confirmed everyone's fears. A dangerous toxic gas had been released. The gas levels weren't high enough to be immediately deadly, but they posed a serious risk if anyone remained exposed for too long. Then investigators uncovered something even more disturbing. Radiation detectors near the entrance began registering elevated readings. The measurements weren't alarmingly high, but they were significant enough to raise concerns among the experts on site. According to specialists, discoveries like this aren't entirely unprecedented. Throughout history, some ancient chambers and sealed vaults have contained materials such as mercury and other hazardous compounds. In certain cases, these substances were used to preserve valuable contents. In others, they may have served as a deterrent against intruders. The situation escalated quickly. Rick made the decision without hesitation. "We're stopping here," he said firmly. "This is beyond our expertise. We need outside specialists." Work came to an immediate halt. Medical personnel were brought in to evaluate potential exposure, while the excavation zone was locked down and placed under strict security. No further activity would take place until environmental experts completed a comprehensive safety assessment. Marty's reaction reflected what many people were already thinking. "If this was intentionally designed as a protective measure," he said, "then whoever built this place didn't want it discovered." What had begun as a quest for answers was becoming something entirely different. The focus was no longer just on uncovering history. Now there were real concerns about safety, and possibly much more. The leak that changed everything. Not long after the site was secured, a new twist pushed the story into the global spotlight. Footage captured by the fiber optic camera suddenly appeared online. No one could explain how it happened. Some suspected an insider leaked the files. Others pointed to contractors or even a possible cyber intrusion. Whatever the source, the result was immediate. The footage spread across the internet at lightning speed. Viewers caught brief glimpses of reflective objects inside the chamber, unusual symbols carved into the stone walls, and the mysterious humming sound that had unsettled the investigation team. Social media erupted. Videos with titles like "Oak Island Treasure Finally Found" and "Templar Vault Discovered" attracted millions of views within days. Discussion forums exploded with theories. Reaction videos appeared everywhere. And because Rick and Marty remained publicly silent, speculation only intensified. The lack of official answers created a vacuum that the internet was eager to fill. A mystery that had fascinated people for centuries had suddenly become a worldwide obsession. If you're fascinated by mysteries, hidden history, and the secrets of Oak Island, make sure to subscribe and stay tuned, because the next breakthrough might be the one that changes everything.